Ask everybody to please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God.
Ask you to please remain standing, if you would, for a moment of silence for those serving overseas and here at home for our country. Any of us that have lost a loved one recently, and let's please remember our city employees here and our residents in the city of Hazelwood, if we could have just a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated.
The shortest one ever.
This time we'll have roll call.
Ms. Matlack?
Here.
Mrs. Simpson?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Hatton?
Here.
Mr. Hoops?
Here.
Mr. McGee?
Here.
Mrs. Henderson?
Here.
Mr. Foley?
Here.
Mayor Robinson?
Here.
Quorum is present.
Next, we have amendment or adoption of the agenda as printed. I believe there's been a request to have a change on item 16C to move to the firehouse bond issue. Discussion or a motion to make that change?
Motion to add fire.
Add fire. And we're going to leave the parks, the Public Works Maintenance Building facility on there, or are we removing that?
I would like to remove C and add fire in its place.
Second.
Been a motion and a second to remove the title, Public Works Maintenance Building and Parks and Recreation Improvements, and change that with the firehouse bond issue. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
The ayes have it. Next would be a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
Move to adopt as amended.
Motion and a second, or there is a second now. There's a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as printed. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have the amendment or adoption of the consent agenda. I believe there also is a request to talk about property acquisition prior to the 16C title. And I would suggest that we can move that up to after 5A, so that we could have a consultation with attorney on property acquisition. Is there a motion in that?
Motion to move it up to,
To 5A, to 5B or something?
5B would be the appropriate
I
number.
motion.
Well, in your second issue.
Oh.
wait a moment.
you'd second it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you.
There's
meant
been a
my-
motion
Oh, you're fine.
and a second. And to move that up on the consent agenda. Is further discussion? Hearing none, this will be a roll call. I'm sorry, we need a motion to amend it first. So you got, that's the motion to amend it, so this will be just a regular vote. This would be a regular vote to amend the consent agenda as suggested. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Now we need to adopt the consent agenda as amended. This will be a roll call vote if there is a first and second.
I make a motion to adopt.
Motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as amended. If there's no further discussion, this is a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Matlock? Mrs. Simpson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hatton?
Yes.
Mr. Hoops? Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Foley?
Yes.
Mayor Robinson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
If I could ask council if we could move that to 6D, just out of courtesy. I was trying to do our presentations prior. As that I'll bring it up under 6D after we finish all of our presentations. That way the public's not waiting for us while we're
That sounds fine.
business. Okay. So we got special order business, the oath of office. Margie Oliver, Parks and Recreation, please.
That you will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the State of Missouri, and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Hazelwood, and that you will faithfully perform the duties of your office as a member of the Parks and Recreation Board, for which you were duly appointed on the 4th day of March, 2026. Thank you. Thank you for volunteering and being reappointed.
Mr. Mayor, Council, Detective Pat Grelly will be accepting the proclamation.
I have it right here. Sorry, Matt.
Hi, Patrick.
Matt. There you go. What is happening to my computer?
Goes, okay, all right. Proclamation 2606, whereas National Police Week, observed May 10 through 16, 2026, is a time for our community to come together in appreciation of the men and women in law enforcement who serve with dedication and courage. And whereas police officers work hand in hand with residents, businesses, schools, and local organizations to build stronger, safer, and more connected communities. And whereas these dedicated public servants risk their lives daily to protect our citizens and uphold the law, and whereas National Police Week is a time to honor those who have lost their lives in line of duty and to recognize the service and sacrifice of all law enforcement officers. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Hazelwood, Missouri does hereby declare the week of May 10th through May 16th, 2026 to be Police Week in the City of Hazelwood, and we encourage everyone to take a moment to thank a law enforcement officer, participate in community events, and reaffirm our collective commitment to serve together today and every day. Proclaimed the 6th day of May, 2026.
Adopt.
Second.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have an EMS week proclamation.
Proclamation 2607, whereas emergency medical services play a vital role in safeguarding the health, safety, and well-being of our community, responding to calls for help with speed, skill, and compassion, and whereas the dedicated professionals of EMS, including paramedics, EMTs, dispatchers, and other frontline responders work tirelessly around the clock to provide life-saving care in moments of crisis, and whereas the theme of EMS Week 2026, Improving Outcomes Together, highlights the importance of collaboration in delivering high-quality emergency care, and whereas we recognize the importance of supporting and strengthening EMS systems through training, resources, and community collaboration, ensuring that help is always there and when we need it the most. Now, therefore, The Council of the City of Hazelwood, Missouri hereby proclaims the week of May 17th through May 23rd, 2026 as Emergency Medical Services Week in the City of Hazelwood, and encourages all citizens to observe the week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities in honor of the EMS profession, proclaimed this 6th day of May, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Second. Aye.
Next, we have Public Works Week proclamation.
Proclamation 2608. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, quality of life, and well-being of the people of the City of Hazelwood. And whereas public works services are a cornerstone of our community, whether highly visible projects such as streets and bridges or essential services that often go unseen. And whereas the 2026 National Public Works Week theme, Rooted in Service, Powered by Community, highlights how public works professionals provide essential services, both visible and behind the scenes, that form the foundation of strong, connected communities. And whereas we are proud to celebrate and thank the individuals who show up every day in every season to support the quality of life we all enjoy. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Hazelwood, Missouri hereby declares the week of May 17th through May 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week, and urge all citizens to join in recognizing the contributions of public works professionals and to participate in activities and events that celebrate their vital role in our community. Proclaimed this 6th day of May, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion and a second to adopt the proclamation.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. At this time, we'd like to move to our closed session for about 5-10 minutes. If the public can please have some patience for us, but we're going to go to the boardroom and have a discussion very soon. So, thank you. I'd like to thank you on behalf of the council and apologize for our inconvenience there of going into a closed session, but it was very important business. I'll go ahead and call the regular meeting back in session, and we will continue down the agenda. I believe next on the agenda, we have item 7, citizens' comments and discussion, which will be heard at this time, subject to the established rules of decorum and shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, with each speaker limited to a total of 3 minutes, which may be increased by discretion of the chair or by a motion approved by a majority of the council at the meeting. Yes, sir.
Yes, good evening, council and everybody. Good evening. I stand here again,
If you could, state your name in the beginning, just for the
Ron
record.
Simpson, 8421 Jacqueline Avenue, Hazelwood. I come here again to you, first time I came to you is several years ago when we had a 10-year problem with a neighboring house next door. And also combined with that was a 6-year problem with the school behind us at 8390 Laddie, the Christian Academy. They basically terrorized everybody on the north side of the street by throwing their grass clippings up against the fences. I have a white privacy fence, and I've had mine for years. I've had to clean it because of the mold that they caused by throwing grass up against my fence. I've had to clean it twice. I have a 1-foot pavers base border behind my fence so that no grass grows in there, and I keep it sprayed with vegetation killer and stuff like that, and they just throw the grass right up against the fence when all they have to do is turn the mower the other way. I went over and said something to them before I came here to the council meeting for the first time, and they got pretty nasty with me. And basically, after that, they just continued to do what they wanted to do, and then code enforcement went and said something to them, and they cleaned the grass up off the fence, and the rest of the year was fine. Now, here the year starts over again, and they're doing the same thing. The first cut they did it. They just cut it the other day. They did the same thing. So I'm asking for some help, and if you could have them pay for cleaning my fence, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else under citizens' comments?
Good evening. I'm Mrs. Royal, Ward 6. I sent an email and called City Hall regarding the Dells, but have not received a response. I have brought several concerns to the council regarding the project with the Dells. Unfortunately, many of my questions have not been answered directly. Some questions were met with a response of "in due time," or "that was not required," or "it will meet code." I have a question for the council. Why did the city of Hazelwood permit the Dells to paint one of the buildings solid black? Is this an example of meeting code? And I have a picture so you can see what I'm talking about. Here are some facts that you may wish to consider before making a decision. The Dells' license to do business in the state of Missouri indicates operate a limited service restaurant, is renovating, remodeling a commercial building to residential housing permitted under that license. The Dells' license to do business in the state of Missouri was revoked on September 23rd, 2024 for failure to file a registration report. The required paperwork was not submitted for a number of months, not days, months. The license was reinstated on January 14th, 2025. I have copies of that document. I have concerns with a company that cannot submit a piece of paper on time in order to keep its license current. Is that what we can look forward to if this project is approved? The neighborhood directly parallel to the Dells project, Trotwood Downs, is middle class with houses selling for $200,000 plus. Why would Hazelwood even consider putting a low-income housing project in a middle-class neighborhood such as this? Why would anyone coming into this neighborhood bring less than what is already in existence? Why should the residents of this neighborhood accept anything less than what they already have in terms of housing? At the last meeting, you were asked to listen, but also hear what is being said. Please hear me clearly. If answers are not readily forthcoming for basic questions now, what makes anyone think that approval of this project will bring forth a plethora of information? The phrase "meeting code" does not change the fact that what has been presented is an extend-a-stay hotel masquerading as an apartment complex. I implore you to make a decision that is good for the residents of Trotwood Downs, Ward 6, and the city of Hazelwood. Please do not do anything to the residents of Ward 6 that you would not want done to you or your family. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Royal.
Claire Fates, 8 Pondview Drive, Hazelwood, Missouri. First of all, I'm hoping that somewhere on this agenda, the city council is going to make an announcement of the changes that are occurring within our city due to management changes. No announcement was made at the last meeting, and obviously there's a change somewhere. The chief is sitting in the city manager's spot, so I'm hoping there's going to be at least a public announcement so the citizens know what's going on in their city. Second of all, last meeting you approved the sale of the sports complex property, and once again, I think you failed the citizens of Hazelwood. I've read the charter. I did not see anywhere in the charter, and please point it out to me, about how the sale of public land is supposed to go. Seeking nothing in the city charter to go by, I went to my website, checked in how the state of Missouri property is supposed to be sold. And I do not think this council went with any of the statutes that are there in the 2025 Missouri Revised Statute, Chapter 99, Section 99.936. First thing is, you're supposed to determine fair market value. I do not believe this was done. I never heard any money being spent for appraisal to have a fair market value, so no one knows what the fair market value is or isn't. No one knows if you sold it for a fair market value, undersold it, oversold it. I have no clue. 2, public notice. You're supposed to give the public notice. It's supposed to be published in a newspaper 1 week and then another week. So for at least 2 weeks, it's supposed to have been published in a newspaper or some form where the public would be aware of it. That was failed. So again, this council is not either getting good advice from the leadership that is supposed to be leading them or the attorney who's supposed to be advising them. If I'm wrong, tell me. But that's what I read, and we did not abide by it. This is the second time this council has not gone with what the charter says or what the state law says. This cannot continue. I will not let it continue. You've been elected to represent us and do what the law says. You're not doing it. And I'm just going to say, I don't know if this was a good deal or a bad deal with the sale of that land. My opinion is unformed because there wasn't enough evidence presented one way or another. So I'm not for or against you. You might have sold it, might have been a good deal. I don't know, it might have been a bad deal. I don't know. And I don't know why we have to rush to judgment on these type of issues. These are important issues for our community, and you rush to make a decision. And I'm ashamed of all of you that did.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Margie Oliver. I'm on the Parks and Recs Board. Let me finish signing my name here. My hope when I came to the meeting tonight, not only just to be re-sworn back in, but to hear an apology to our Parks and Recs Board. Doug, I listened and watched the last meeting and was a little disappointed at what was said about our board. And I want to clarify that our Parks and Recs Board, we are an advisory for the Parks and Recs division. And I just want to make sure that the comment that was mentioned last meeting on behalf of Claire, back here, that she stated, and I quote, "He doesn't give a damn about any of our committees, so why should the citizens volunteer to do stuff if we're going to be treated like that?" That comment was very open, and it left the council, the people who were here, to believe that there's something going on our board, and there's nothing going on in our board. We have our meetings virtual. Everyone gets along. Doug does very much so care about our committee, and I just wanted to make sure that that goes on record. And again, I was just hoping that he would at least get an apology for that statement, because Claire did just join our committee. There were things that we talked about in reference to the soccer park that she did not get to hear before because she had just joined the committee. We had a meeting yesterday. I'm hoping a lot of the questions that you had and concerns were answered. I like to believe that they were, but again, our committee is fine. Everyone is doing well, and we totally enjoy being on the Parks and Recs Board. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to say I apologize on behalf of the city council for the comment that was made. It shouldn't have been made in the direction it was made, and I'm sure the council feels the same, so we apologize. Is there anybody else from the audience who'd like to come up and speak?
I'm Quentin Spurlock. I don't know.
Sign in.
Yeah, I signed in, yes, ma'am. The main thing I want to say on record is after coming to these meetings, I really do feel like I have better things to do. Like, that's really personally how I feel, but I got to come because, like she said, I just feel like I can't trust what's going on here in Hazelwood. Like, if what she's saying is true, I also do believe that there are other foul play things going on, and I'm learning, and I want to know whose job is it to, like, check stuff like that. If what she's saying is a fact, then you guys broke a law. Like, normally when people break laws, like, we spend $14 million on police. I'm going to keep on reiterating that. Like, it ain't no joke, you know what I'm saying? So for the people who are here that are supposed to be guiding us, like they're saying, that's not doing the right thing, that just doesn't make me feel good here. Another thing I want to say, too, on that behalf is it's okay to be uneducated on things, but people that are supposed to lead other people, if you're right up there asking, hey, are we supposed to do this? Like, some things that I've seen at these meetings don't seem very professional. Like, I'm just saying that, like, I don't know what's going on with that. The other thing I did want to, get on record is I did ask, were there any fines assessed to the Dells? I did ask that before, and he's saying that nobody, did anything about that, and I looked, and there wasn't any fines assessed, and me and him both agreed that if you started the roof, which you guys know that they did, they painted, like she's saying, like, things that people are saying are up to code, like, no fines were assessed, no rip the work down was assessed, like, what are we doing, what's going on? And then the fact that we were still going to approve them after they did illegal work, like, it's hard for me to believe that people up here aren't in cahoots with stuff that's going on. So I did want to get that on the record. It's a lot of things. One of the other things I did ask for before was I did want, the improvements that they are making with Hazelwood Civic Center, because I went to the other Civic Center, White Birch, and I did look at the equipment. And although we did move the equipment from downstairs, that equipment, like she said, is 20 years old, I believe she said, and that she did get a stipend to get more equipment, but it wasn't enough, so they haven't bought anything. So we got the same equipment in there from 20 years ago. Like, we can't expect for our kids to go there and work out and do the things that they're supposed to be doing when we got $14 million on other things and we can't upgrade our civic center, little stuff like that. I also do want to know I want to get a list of programs that we have that are supposed to help our community. Like, what are we doing as a community to bring revenue to us? Do we have a car show every year that we do? Like, I never receive flyers about anything. Like, what do we have going on for our community, So I do want to hear about some of those things when I get here. And like I keep saying, I'm tired of seeing awards go out to the police. Every time I come here, I literally see another award to the cops. Like, I don't hear nothing about our high school. I don't hear nothing about what's going on there, about any teachers, any students doing anything good. Like, do we only got good cops doing good stuff here? Is that all that's going on here? We don't got no good students doing anything. We don't got no. I saw a kid that went to Hazelwood West that became like the first referee or something at an early age, and I haven't heard nothing about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that these meetings, we do have positive things in our neighborhood, and I would like for us to talk about some of those, and I would like to hear about some of the good events that we have going on. I don't know any event that Hazelwood throws every year, and I've been here for a long time, so I do want to know an event that we throw every year to bring revenue here. What car show do we have? What do we have, here to bring people here? So I do just want to bring that up, so you guys have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else under citizens' comments? Anybody else under citizens' comments? Hearing none, we have a public hearing. Me Time Saloon, petition for special land use permit for a therapeutic massage health club spa at 6170 Hotter Shell Road. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. I am Cecile Denny. I am the city planner. This evening, we have Me Time Aesthetics doing business as Me Time Salon. They have proposed to open a salon offering hair removal using wax and sugar paste and customizable non-invasive facial services. The owner and only employee of the salon is a licensed esthetician. She will be operating Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. There will be one employee on maximum shift. This is a middle unit in the Outer Shell Plaza strip mall. It provides 1,000 square feet of indoor space. Previous uses have included the BU Beauty by April, Beautiful Struggle Supply and Spa, Hair Dynamics, and BS Beauty Supply. The floor plan proposes only one treatment chair, 2 pieces of waiting room furniture, a restroom, and supply storage. As you may recall, there are 65 parking spaces available for the entire strip center. where 6 parking spaces are required for the use. The other uses in the strip center require 133 parking spaces, making the required parking spaces for the strip center 139 with the addition of the new spa. The parking code allows for a 25% reduction in required parking spaces for mixed-use buildings, which brings the required number down to 100 spaces. Since the building was constructed in 1985 and predates the current parking code, it has been allowed to operate with such a deficit, although traditionally no parking lot-based events have been allowed. The property is zoned C2 General Commercial, and staff recommends the approval, and the petitioner, Ms. Darden, is here this evening.
Okay. Hello. Hi, I'm Zamari Darden, the owner of Me Time Salon, located off of 6170 Howdashell Road.
That all you have? You have a presentation, anything to add to her?
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Is there any
I mean, it's
questions?
pretty self-explanatory. If you guys have any questions, I'll answer them. I just offer full-body waxing and facial services.
I have a question. Is it by appointment only, or is it walk-ins, or both?
Both.
Okay.
So I would only do walk-ins on Wednesdays, or if I don't want to take them, I don't have to come in. So.
And it says that you're only going to have one chair, but you will have chairs for clients to wait if they're during the walk-in.
Yes.
Okay.
Typically, I don't have many people waiting, though, unless they bring like a child or like a partner or something. They can wait out there.
Thank you.
You're only doing one person at a time, so it's
Yeah.
pretty much, you don't need a lot of space.
No, just storage mostly. That's why, and washer and dryer in the back if possible. That's why I got so much space.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Any other questions from council? Hearing none, this is a public hearing. This is a portion where the public from the audience here will come up and ask questions about the particular project if they have any concerns or anything. Is there anybody from the audience that would like to come up and speak?
Okay.
This is the time to come up. Anybody from the audience?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is more so just about what I was just saying is, she said there was a 25% reduction that took it down to 100 parking spots, and then we're giving them some type of just, I don't exactly recall, it was basically like a leeway because the building was old, so they only got 66 total parking spots. Nothing to do with her, but just the establishment as a whole, they're getting a reduction of 25%, and then what's the other reduction for of the other 40 spots? That's more than 25%. That's of the original number. I want, what was the original number before the 25% reduction of parking spaces?
133, or 139, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we're basically cutting it in half. We gave them a 25% reduction, then another 25% reduction. What's the cost for that? I would like to know, like, who would just let that be okay? Like,
I'm sorry, there's not a cost in that?
I was just, she said that they're supposed to have so many spots, that's what they want them to have. They
6.
gave them a reduction. No, I'm not talking about her business, I'm talking about the whole business as a whole. That's what she mentioned, they had 140 spots. You guys reduced it to 25% to 100, and they still lacked that at 65. And she said, well, since the building was old, built in 1980, all this stuff's public, but that's what I came up here just to say, that you guys heard that and just let 40 parking spots just get burnt up and said, we okay with that. And the fact that nobody up here has recalled.
The parking spots didn't disappear. Parking spots are there.
How many parking spots total?
We're allowing the variance, or for lack of better words, so she can open up her business.
How many parking spots are there total?
There are 65 there, but what he's saying is that
Can you please go to the microphone?
We had a question today, if everybody could please bear with us. resident asked that they couldn't hear at the microphone, so if we
Yeah.
could always speak into the
Sure.
microphone for business.
Um,
If we could quiet down for the speaker?
So there are 65 parking spaces available in the strip center currently, and not all of the uses. The way that we figure parking is to calculate the maximum. We would assume that each business will require for parking, and then we require that maximum number for each business. For multi-use buildings, not all businesses use the same parking spaces at the same time, and that's why we allow for the 25% reduction. For this particular strip center, the fact that there are only the 65 parking spaces, when our code calls for there to be 139 parking spaces, has, for the past 40 years, not presented a problem with this specific strip center and their parking. That might not be the same for every other business in Hazelwood, but for this particular business, all of the uses have not required their maximum number of parking spaces, and therefore, there has not been a parking deficit.
So you never had any issues with any of the occupants of the buildings complaining about not enough parking for that strip
During my
center?
time or ever?
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, I will give you that. No, during your time,
No.
it's a short time, I understand. Thank you, thank you.
And I appreciate him saying that, because to me, it's about what the rules are. And it's like, just because nobody complained, that means that we don't follow what the rules are. So it's like, if nobody's complaining that it's supposed to be 100 and whatever parking spots, we allowed the variance for 25%. Now we're saying it's okay to have even less. That's kind of the situation like we were just having with the Dells and their parking spot situations, I believe. Or is that not similar? That we were allowed a variance for the Dells, and we were talking about how many people were going to live there and how many parking spaces should be allowed there, and that's what we talked about. Is that not? I'm just saying, it has nothing to do with her business. I'm just bringing these things on, on record, that there's a variance for right there, 25%, than another that you guys don't even have a reason of, and you're just saying just because nobody's complaining that it's okay. Like, that's what I'm complaining about, these high grasses and stuff like that, and you just making up rules and doing what you want when
Stay
you
on
want.
subject
It's
here.
okay, I'm just putting this on the record for you, my man, 'cause it's like, like I said,
Sir, there is a grandfathered law. They don't have to, if you read the ordinance, they don't have to go back. There's no place to add more parking spaces, so they've decided that in 40 years, 50 years, how many ever years it has been, that they're not adding more parking spaces. There's no place else to go with them. It's not the point of what she was bringing up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, please step forward and call that the public hearing be closed, and we'll move forward with your response from petitioner. If not, planning and zoning.
Mr. McGee made a motion, seconded by Mr. Ham, to approve the petition for a special land use permit for Therapeutic Massage Health Club Spa, Ward 2, with the following condition. All practitioners must be properly licensed to practice services. The motion passed unanimously.
Discussion from the council.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion, hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Has been approved. Okay, next, we have 8B, Hazelwood Business Park, petition for petition for subdivision, boundary adjustment at 5555 St. Louis Mills Circle, Units A through H.
Once again, I am Cecile Denny. I am the city planner. The property at 555 St. Louis Mills Boulevard was originally divided into, not originally, was originally divided during its condominium division into 15 units in 2016, with the option of redeveloping up to 99 units. The units range in size from 13,000 square feet to up to 132,000 square feet. Over the past decade of redevelopment, the number, size, and shape of the condo units changed significantly, necessitating frequent revisions to the condo plat. In an effort to save the owner time and money, the city came to an arrangement allowing them to make alterations to the design and layout of the condos without having to formally amend the condominium plat each time, as long as they seek site plan approval from the city before each proposed alteration. Once all tenants are in place and no more alterations are planned, the owner will file to get a final condominium plat approved. Enough alterations from the approved 2016 condominium plat have necessitated the city approaching the owner at this time for an update. The number of condominium units is now 13. Units are significantly larger, now ranging in size from 27,798 square feet up to 461,557 square feet. Walls have been knocked out, and egress into and out of the suites has changed. The 96-acre lot is planned district mixed, and city recommends approval, or staff recommends approval. The petitioner is here. The petitioner is here this evening and would like to speak. Mr. Burns.
Hi, good evening. My name is Steve Burns. Representing the property owner of that development. I'm essentially there, I'm their architect, so I'm the one submitting all the plan improvements to city planning, as well as building department, as well as Robertson Fire District and the city fire department. So essentially, it was originally a mall, right? It was an outlet mall, had a lot of mercantile use, had some food court use. So it qualified as mercantile, assembly, some accessory business offices were in there. And then the businesses went away. So the current owner is trying to redevelop the land, the property, for reuse, and the reuse is now looking at storage, warehousing, possibly light manufacturing, business accessory use. There are 2 tenants that are still on the property that we believe will remain. We have the Cabela's retail, which is still there. They're currently occupied. And then we have the ice zone, which still acts as an ice rink for the community. So when it was originally developed, the condoization of the plat was pretty much based on the anchor tenants, a large retail tenant, Sears, others like that. So they took the shape of those retail spaces. But now that we're repurposing the building for reuse, a different use, we're asking to change the shape of the condos to match the new tenants going in. And the trouble that we've been working through, and I think we have a solution, is the owners are trying to find tenants to occupy this building, and they can't just find all the tenants at one time. It takes effort to get interest in the coming into the building and paying rents for large areas of space. So we've been having to propose preliminary condo plats showing to the city how we intend to reshape the building as tenants come in one by one. So I think we're up to, 5 tenants now? We intend to fill the building, it's just gonna take more time. So we've agreed we'd come to a point which is about 50% of the area of the building to plat the new condo layout, and that's what we're doing now. So we're gonna be, if we get through approval here, we're gonna make our way to St. Louis County for a recording of the current tenant layout. And then we'll continue to do so until we fill the building and do a final plat. The hope is get this building filled up with new tenants, new businesses, and then start looking outward, to the outer ring of the parcels, because there's a lot of land there, a lot of parking that no longer is needed because our occupant loads are far less than what was required for mercantile assembly spaces for restaurants and things like that. So there's going to be a lot of land left over that's going to be ready to be looked at once we get the building completed. So hopefully that explains what we're doing.
Questions from the council members? Hearing none. Again, this is a public hearing. At this time, we ask you just to step aside, and residents at this time can come up and ask questions on this project as needed. Yes, ma'am. If you could, state your name.
I accidentally put my address where it wants the phone number. I hope you'll forgive me for having them in the wrong spot. I do have a question about I believe the person who's here tonight said they were looking at doing condominiums, if I heard him correctly. Did I hear correct?
If you could, your,
Okay.
if your answer could be into the microphone
Okay.
for the record.
He's not interested in doing condominiums. The condominium form of ownership is an ownership form that we have under the city. It means that it means the shell of the building is owned by.
Multiple people.
Exactly.
Thank you. I was just concerned with the flooding of that place. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica.
Under public hearing, is there any other citizens that would like to come up and speak?
As the architect, I would just like to ask, when we talk about having 13 businesses there, and you talk about expanding outward to the parking lot, you saying that there's a lot of space. What could you imagine putting there or doing with 13 businesses who are gonna have employees? If you're saying manufacturing or slight manufacturing, I could only imagine that they're gonna want something a little secure, their area, stuff like that. So what are we imagining to go in that lot when we talk about whatever it is he's saying that he's imagining to go outward, outside of the building afterwards? What are we imagining?
So there's no plans currently.
For the microphone, please. I'm sorry, I apologize.
There's currently no plans right now for the undeveloped portion of the parking lot. So if you look at the parcel as a whole, it's the old mall building with Cabela's and the ice rink. There are parcels outside of the ring where the parking is. There is some activity for redevelopment there, but what I'm talking about is when the building is complete and there's no more space left to lease, there will be a lot of leftover space that's not needed for parking anymore. So that is ripe for development. Obviously, we got to work with the city, fire department, planning, zoning, everybody to make sure that whatever is proposed will meet codes, safety requirements and all that, and meet land use. But it most likely what would make sense for a development like this is to have similar uses. So today we have warehousing, so there's a lot of logistics, storing of materials. Businesses have materials that they sell, so they're storing them in the building currently. There are some manufacturers, light manufacturing plan to go in there where they'll reprocess old materials to be sold to be made into new materials. There's a manufacturer of sporting goods equipment. I think it's called Dive Bomb. They sell stuff to the hunting community. They don't necessarily make products there, but they warehouse their products there to be sold. So when the building's full, the hope is to expand those types of uses outward into the underutilized land that's currently a parking lot. Because again, we won't need that much parking. We certainly needed it when it was a mall, just because of the number of occupants that were going to occupy that building. But when you look at logistics, warehousings, and light manufacturing, things like that, you have far less people. So the requirements for parking are no longer as large.
Yes, I'm looking at a satellite overview, and you're discussing like expanding the building out possibly in the future, because I see acres and acres and acres of parking lot. And that's what you're like, I'm just saying you're gonna do it, just proposed in the future to possibly expand the building out into the parking lot areas that you have acres and acres that are not being utilized.
Yes, and again, right now, there's no plans to do that, but the hopes and the logical thing to do with land of that size would be to continue developing it. It probably will not be a physical expansion of the building. It will probably be independent, freestanding buildings So there will probably, if you could imagine, most likely, and again, this has to be
No,
thought out.
thank you for
but,
the explanation.
you know,
That's why I
probably
kind of.
rings of roads. You'd have an inner ring around the current building and an outer ring, which we currently have, which is the outer, drive lane.
And that was the kind of confusion in my head, is whether, I understand there's a lot of parking lot area down there, acres, acres, and acres of it. Had you planned on expanding the building out or doing exactly what you're talking about, building smaller buildings within the acres of the parking
Right,
lots?
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you very
And
much.
again, a lot of this is contingent upon the interest of the tenants coming in today, like what they might want to see in terms of reshaping of the building, how does it best suit the needs? Again, being a mall building originally, there are modifications that are required to make it more useful as a different use.
And modifications have already been done to the building to make use for it now, correct? sir?
Correct, yeah, and that's ongoing, that's part of, again, why we're here, because we do have modifications that are already made to tenants that are currently occupying, and now we just want to get their condos replatted, so it's all complete.
Thank you, thank you.
Hello, my name is Joni Hosher, and I live in Ward 1. I just want to say I'm very grateful that something is happening to the mills. That's always been a very big concern for me, that building being vacant, so I'm glad to hear there's some very realistic, sounds very realistic anyway, development happening. There were some other ideas that were passed along and never worked out, so I'm just very thankful for that, and I hope the council considers everything he's proposing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clarification, I just kind of want to hone in on what she said. I'm grateful to the company that finally came in and bought the mills and is trying to do something with it. I know it's a huge tract of land and building that is going to take a lot of time to fill and do that. And I think they've been a reputable company that have come here before us with plans and not trying to hide what they're doing or whatever. I think they're a good company, and I just hope this council can work with them to get this done, as long as we abide by the rules and regulations that we have. But I think it's good for our community that something's being done there, and I just want you to know, many of the residents appreciate that you bought that and are trying to do something with it. Thank you.
I'm tired of people saying many of residents when I come here and it's only 10 people here. And when I walk around the neighborhood and I'm talking to people and they don't know nothing about what's going on. So when we say many of residents, I can't really clap for none of that, you know what I'm saying? And I believe it when I see it. They don't make new land. So when people tell me like we happy for what they building, somebody gonna come and build regardless. I don't care what nobody talking about.
Anybody else from the audience? Citizens' comments? Hearing none, go ahead and call that portion of the meeting closed. Is there any other questions or comments from city council members? Zoning.
Mr. Ham made a motion, seconded by Mr. Rodell, to approve the petition for boundary adjustment for the 96.02 acre Plan District mixed-use development at 5555 St. Louis Mills Boulevard, Ward 7. The motion passed unanimously.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second to adopt. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. This concludes public hearings portion of the meeting. There's nothing removed under communications. Unfinished business. We have 10A. We have a bill, it's been tabled, authorizing the rezoning. This is the Dells project.
It is, and It is on the agenda, so we don't lose track of it. At the time that the council voted to table it, it wasn't tabled to a specific meeting, so it's on the agenda, so it doesn't get forgotten about.
I would like to make a motion to move this to the May 20th meeting for a second reading. Because I need time to have a town hall with some of my residents to talk to them, so that either they show up or whatever we decide at that meeting. But I do need time to talk to my residents and stuff.
I don't believe it takes a motion. It is tabled already, so.
Table it?
So I
Just let it-
can move it back to second reading of bills. I was gonna take it off from
If
unfinished
that's,
business.
if maybe that would be her motion to
Yes.
take it and put it on.
Right, I do want it to be a final vote.
Okay, for sure, then, yeah, that would be a motion to remove it from table and a 20th meeting, correct?
Correct.
Is there a second for that motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Mayor and council reports, May 13th work session agenda items. Is there any discussion for May 13th? There'd be a motion to cancel the May 13th. It would be appropriate at this time to have that discussion, so there's nothing on the agenda, so. Second. Been a motion and a second to cancel the May 13th work session. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Is there any board and commission appointments? I don't believe I have any submitted.
There's one under your agenda.
There you go. We have Jessica Platt with the Community Enrichment Commission. Any others?
She did, and I didn't get it on there.
What is it?
Ron Simpson for Neighborhood Watch.
Ron Simpson for Neighborhood Watch.
Tracy Adams for Neighborhood Watch.
I don't, who is it?
Tracy Adams.
She was on TSUN.
There's a total of three. There's a total of three at this point. Is there anybody else? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the names submitted?
Motion to approve the names as submitted.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have item 12A, consideration of purchase of installation of Civic Center East Gymnasium flooring. Mr. Littlefield.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here tonight. We have in the current capital improvement budget for this year, the resurfacing of the Civic Center East gymnasium floor. It is the original floor in there. We've made a few repairs over the years, but it is definitely time to replace it. So we are recommending, staff is recommending a high-performance vinyl sports flooring. We don't have the budget to go hardwood and things like that. This is a resilient floor. It also has properties for when heads bounce off the floor and things like that to protect against traumatic brain injury, and comes along with a 25-year manufacturer's warranty. We are purchasing off of a contract through Omnia Partners, which is a co-op purchasing agency that the city belongs to. We have $160,000 in the 200-446-800 account. Budgeted for this year, we are recommending a contract with Field Turf USA, Inc. For $140,125.
I have two questions.
Sure.
First, is that price within the budget?
100%, yeah, we had 160 and this is at 140.
And then do you have a sample?
I do, right here, yeah, yeah.
Can you do a show and tell?
Certainly. Well, here's what it is. This is essentially, and the thing about this floor, it's gonna go in right over our existing floor. The floor as it exists was a perfect surface to lay on, so we didn't have to tear our floor up, or make any adjustments like that. But essentially, it's a vinyl product. It's at universities, churches, variety of schools. We did get the Active Plus model, which has a little more durability. It is not the base model for this type of product. So, I mean, anybody want to touch it, or, So it'll, the main floor will have an appearance of the old maple basketball floor, and then we'll have, because we've got the red mats, we've got, and we're intending on having the city logo and center court as well. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
Any other
So that's-
questions for Doug?
You said that's a 25-year warranty on that?
Yes, sir.
Questions I have, is it going to be laid out for just basketball, or is it also going to include like volleyball or?
We are going to have, the volleyball lines are on it. We have not talked about pickleball. We've been running it, out of the community center, but when we're going in, that probably should be a discussion. So that's a good idea. Yes, sir.
Further questions? Hearing none?
To approve.
Second.
Our first reading.
Move to put on first reading. Sorry, Joey.
Second that.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please. Ayes have it. 12B, we have our annual economic development report. This is from our interim city manager here. Our assistant city manager, who was promoted to city manager, has had another opportunity of a job to be filled and turned in his 60-day notice. In the meantime, we have Jim in charge while we were in search of hiring on a new staff person, so for city manager. This is our police chief, Mr. Jim Hudnick, interim city manager.
Mr. Mayor and council, I'm going to do my best to try to explain this. It was put together by Mr. Leeser. As the mayor said, he has resigned. I think you have it in the information in front of you. I put together a summary, and I'm going to read this. And if you have any questions, I'll probably have to say Chapter 100s and geo bonds are my big thing right now. So, the city of Hayward experienced another strong year in economic development in 2025, with industrial activity generating $2.1 million in license and permit fees. This performance underscores the long-term value of strategic incentives, which, while temporary, continue to yield sustained benefits through job creation, capital investment, and ongoing revenue streams. Several companies exceeded expectations tied to their incentive agreements. Archer Express significantly surpassed job and payroll requirements, while Pivot Bio continues to demonstrate strong growth and expansion potential, already exceeding initial employment thresholds and committing additional investment. Icon Design has also met its employment goals ahead of schedule. Other companies are progressing but remain under close monitoring. Imperial Dade is slightly below its job target, but remains within its compliance window. Conversely, Marson Foods failed to meet its agreement requirements following a corporate acquisition and will not receive tax abatements. MyTech continues to struggle with workforce retention, resulting in amendment agreements and penalties for noncompliance. The redevelopment of the former St. Louis Mills Mall to the Hazelwood Business Park represents a major success. In adaptive reuse, the site is transitioned into productive industrial and commercial hub, attracting multiple tenants and generating significant permit revenues. Similarly, Hazelwood Tradeport remains a cornerstone of the city's industrial base, housing major employers and continuing to attract new tenants. Notably, several significant projects occurred without incentives, including new distribution centers, manufacturing expansions, and the preservation of approximately 550 jobs through Boeing's acquisition of a key aerospace facility. These projects highlight Hazelwood's competitiveness beyond incentive programs, which I think is a great deal. Despite these successes, two primary challenges remain. First, the city is nearly full development capacity, limiting opportunities for large-scale new projects outside of redevelopment efforts. Second, workforce availability continues to constrain business growth, reflecting a broader national trend. Overall, Hazelwood's economic development strategy continues to produce strong results, balancing incentives with long-term fiscal sustainability and positioning the city for continued success. So, if anybody has any questions, I will
Try and help
attempt to
you out.
answer it. If not, I will certainly get back to you, of course.
Questions?
Thank you.
We just move on down the agenda. Is there anything else under city man? Jim?
Oh, I have nothing else, that's right.
City attorney's report?
No report.
City clerk's report.
Tonight on your agenda, you will find a record destruction report. If you recall, the city closes to the public one day a year, and it gives staff the opportunity to go through their records and determine through the retention schedule provided through the state of Missouri what records can legally be destroyed. So the Missouri Secretary of State's office provides these schedules with minimum retention periods. Upon expiration of that period, the records may be destroyed. In your agenda packet,